to Knit One, Heart Two, episode 160. My name is Wendy, also known as Penny, and my co-host Sheila, also known as Sheila D37, is not here today because her brother is having hip replacement surgery, and she is supporting his wife in the waiting room. So, everybody who has mojo out there, send it out to Sheila's brother for a speedy recovery from his hip replacement, and Sheila and I should be back to our regular co-host situation schedule next week. So, if you are a first-time viewer, thanks for checking us out. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back. It's going to be kind of a short show this week because it's just me, and I'll get right down to it. Oh, wait, at the top of the show, we usually do shout-outs. We are still doing our knit-along socks. You could crochet socks too. I know there are a few patterns out there. So if it's crocheted socks, that's fine too. That's running for 2 months. We're also doing our monthly stash busting knit along, where you knit from yarn that's been in your stash for longer than 6 months. Get it done because the end of the month is drawing near, and we will draw a prize for that on the first show that we record after the end of the month. So get it in there. The rules for the contest, the monthly stash busting contest, are in the thread. But basically, you can use projects that you've entered in other contests. You can use projects that you've finished in the month. They don't necessarily have to be started in the month. The usual. You have to be a member of the group. So have fun participating in that. We're also running a contest right now to win Yvonne's Wings, a pattern by Kimberly Gintar. So I'm leaving that open for 2 weeks because I got last week's show up a little bit late. It says that in the thread, but if you're interested, go in there. And I'm going to leave the thread open for the fiber that I'm offering to give away for an extra time because I'm going to be offering to give away some more fiber from Louet this week. So I'm going to run that for a while. So check into the group thread. You can find it over there on our blog page. You can click on a link and it'll take you right to the group. If you're not a member of the group, you can join by clicking on the join button. So but you don't have to join to, look at the threads. You can just read those. So, on the dance card, I only have one real active project on the dance card right now. Let me try to show it to you. It's really long. It looks like a snake. Oh, there goes my crochet hook. This is Bias Cubed by AEC Designs. It's a little curled up right now, but that's what it looks like. It's in Shibui sock in the Breeze colorway, and I have this much, which is probably 2/3 of a skein left. I've already done one complete skein. For those of you who haven't used Shibui sock before, it is put up in small amounts. I think it's like 170 or 180 yards per skein. So in order to do a pair of socks out of Shibui sock, you have to buy 2 skeins. So I've used 1 skein. There it is. Looks really pretty. I'm happy with it. This is going so quickly. And it's potato chip. It's crochet. I'm using a US G 4mm crochet hook. And I keep saying, I'll just do one more row. I'll just do one more row. I just do one more row. The rows are about, you can see I'm in the middle of a row, about that long. And it's on a bias, hence the name Bias Cubed. Cubed because it makes, when it's all blocked out, these little double line cubes. It's fun. I'm going to give it to my daughter. Here's a picture of how it looks when it's blocked so you can get a better idea. I have made a modification. The original pattern calls for silk yarn, lace weight yarn. I am using fingering weight yarn. So instead of using a US F crochet hook, which I believe is the one, or an E, I'm trying to find. The pattern recommends a US E. I'm using USG. I went up several hook sizes so that when it's blocked out, it'll have that lacy effect. And I'm happy with the way that it looks. I couldn't find my H hook, but I think it would have looked good with an H hook too. It would have given it even a little more laciness. I'm going to give it to my daughter when it's done because my husband felted another scarf that I made for her recently. So that's all I've actively been doing this week because I'll tell you more in the next section. I have been spinning a lot. So it is not a complicated pattern. I think once you get the decreased section done, you don't even need to look at the instructions. So it's actually a really good pattern, and you can make something really pretty and use up a skein of scrap yarn. I think you pretty much, I'm just gonna go until it's almost the same length as the other side, and then I'll bind off. I'll start decreasing and bind off. So yeah, check it out. It's pretty good. AEC Designs. You have to search on Ravelry as BIAS3, even though the way that the title of the pattern looks like that. Because when I tried to search on it written out with the parentheses and the superscript 3, didn't work. So look for BIAS3, bias 3, and you'll be able to find this pattern on Ravelry, and it is free. Can't beat that deal. So that's it for the dance card. Rate your date. I have no dates to rate. I did not actually complete any projects this week, but I'm okay with that because in the Whirlwind Romance front, I did a lot of spinning. So first of all, I'm going to show you. I have been working on some Enchanted Knoll Farm's bats for a while. You've seen them. And I finally finished up those. I had 8, I guess they were 3-ounce bats. So I had 2 of them. I had 6 ounces. And this is, you can see some of the sparkle. That's one skein. Here's another skein. And here's a third skein. Got very good yardage out of this. I did a 2-ply because I had 2 bats. I spun the singles from the fold, long draw from the fold. And it's a very puffy yarn because that's how I like to spin, but it's a fingering weight. I got about 700 yards of fingering weight, all told. And it worked out to about 111 yards per ounce. That's what my spinning was. 111 yards of 2-ply per ounce. So it worked out pretty good. I'm very happy with it. I will use that for a project later, I'm sure. It's super soft, and I really wish you could see the color better. My lighting isn't good today. The sun is not shining. But because of the way that Josette from Enchanted Knoll does her bats, they're layered with color. And you can't see it so much here, but there's purple in here, and there's a paler red, and then there's a brighter red sari silk, and then there's some Angelina, some red Angelina or Firestar. I never am sure which one is which. And it gives the yarn a depth that you just don't see when you have a hand-dyed yarn. So even though this is basically a solid color, it has an amazing depth and variation to it. I love it. I'm always happy spinning a bat. I have spun from her non-bat prep. I have some of it in my stash, but I really do love her bats. They are so light and airy, and you just need to hold them up and they spin. And that's my kind of spinning because I am a very lazy spinner. I don't like to do short forward draw. I don't like to pay attention. I like to just let the fiber spin itself. I only pay attention to, I like the fiber to choose its own spin. I'll adjust the wheel and the whirls until I feel like I'm comfortable and it's doing its thing. But I normally, unless I'm spinning for a sweater or a specific project, I don't aim for a certain weight because you have to pay attention when you do that, and I'm lazy. So I just like to let it sort of go. And this always spins up beautifully. I don't have to think at all. I know the settings for her bats. And like I said, I liken it to painting with oil paints, but her bats have layers of color. Things that you wouldn't think would look good together, but when you spin up the way they're blended, it's just amazing. She's really an artist, so if you haven't tried out Enchanted Knoll Farm, definitely check her out because she's pretty awesome. So that was finished Whirlwind Romance 1, and I'm giving that 2 thumbs up. The second thing that I did was when I was at Maryland Sheep and Wool at Susan's Fibers booth, I bought a Frabjous Fiber stripy bat in the Tourmaline colorway, and it consisted of 2 long bats that had pastel rainbow colors that if you took one bat and then put the other one on the end, they all went together. And I wanted to do something quick and dirty, just as a palette cleanser. So I spun that up. This was 85% merino, I think, and 25% sparkle. And it's really hard to see the sparkle in this lighting, but it's pretty. I spun it as a 3-ply so I could keep the colors together. You can see there's some of the colors. That's the end of my yarn. There you go. Looks pretty. It's a it's very puffy because I spin to be puffy. It is a heavy fingering weight, or a DK, I would say, because I didn't try to do anything. I just spun it, and it's super, super soft. So I think it will make a beautiful hat for my daughter, or a mittens maybe. I'll see what she wants. And I got 182 yards, which is about 61 yards per ounce is what my spin was. Because this was only 3 ounces. So nice and puffy. I really loved it. It spun very, again, Frabjous Fiber's prep was beautiful. It spun easily. I didn't have to think about it. That's why it was a good choice for a mindless spin. And it is so soft. That's the other thing. I love spinning from bats because unless it's a very coarse fiber that's blended in the bat, it's always such a puffy, soft yarn at the end. So that is my second Whirlwind Romance completed. And now I'm going to do a review of Louet North America Northern Lights 100% wool top in the Popsicle colorway. It's presented as a pencil roving, and it has short bursts of color. You can see. Whoops, just pulled it apart. I'll say about this fiber, they sent me a half a pound. That's a lot of fiber. I spun about almost exactly an ounce of it, and I spun it 2 different ways so that you could see the different effects that you can achieve with this kind of dye color scheme. I've never spun pencil roving before, and it spins like a dream because you don't have to do anything to it. It's totally my kind of thing. But I had to pay attention a little bit to keep it from getting too thin. I wanted to have a yarn that was bulky or puffy enough so you could really see how the colors worked. So I did it 2 ways. The first way, I did 3/8 of an ounce as a 2-ply. Hold it up here. So you can see lots of barber pulling in the different colors. Sometimes the colors ran together, sometimes they didn't. I think it made a really pretty yarn. It's soft, so definitely something you could use for next to the skin. And it's puffy because I did a long draw, and it's a fingering weight. Looks good. I like it. It's very pretty. I like the fact that there are going to be sections of the yarn that are very solid when you knit it up, but there are going to be sections that have barber pulling colors in it. So I think it would make a very pretty finished object. So there's that one. And then for comparison's sake, I spun the second sample, which is 5/8 of an ounce, as a 3-ply Navajo ply, keeping the colors pretty much together so that there's not a lot of barber pulling. But because the color runs are so short, there was overlap in the changes between colors. But most of it, the colors stay together. So I thought that was interesting. The comparison of the two. Could do either way. The other thing you could do, you could strip out colors and do a true gradient if you wanted to, like go from brown to red to green to blue, if you wanted to do that. I like playing around with the colors and playing around with the way that you do things. You can see there's definitely a difference in how they look. This is also, I spun this much thinner. This is also a fingering weight, but it's a 3-ply fingering weight. It would make a nice sock yarn, I think. But you can definitely see there's more solid in the Navajo plied sample. So those are the two samples. I have a ton of this left, and I'm happy to give this away as well. So I'm going to open a second thread for this, if you're interested in trying it. I'm really happy that I got to try pencil roving. Never would have thought to buy that prop, but it is a really lazy person's joy to spin. I think if I was going to do a lace weight with that, a single ply lace weight would be like a snap. Even a 2-ply lace weight would be a snap with that, because it just, you don't have to make any effort at all. All of the drafting is done for you on that one. So yeah, 2 thumbs up on that prep. And there will be a link in the show notes so that you can see where you can buy it if you're interested in trying it out. They have a lot of really pretty colors. I asked for, they gave me a selection of what colors that I liked, and I wanted to pick something bright because I wanted to play around with the colors, but they have other ones that are not quite so variegated. That particular colorway is Popsicle, but they have other ones, so check it out at the link. And that's it for Whirlwind Romance, but that was a lot. I'm playing around today trying to decide what my next project is going to be, because I kind of want to keep this roll going and spin some more stuff. So that's it for Whirlwind Romance. Future dates. I do have one future date. I was gifted this Saldana 2 lace weight from Fleece Artist by a Siberian cat, Penny. It's a navy blue variegated. It's gorgeous. And I am planning to make another star leaf shawl like the wedding shawl that I did, but make it in navy blue for myself. So that's kind of out there. I want to finish a few things that I have on the needles before I start that, but that will be cast on relatively soon. So that's it for future dates. Crushes and heartbreaks. My crush of the week is I went to the Webb's tent sale and got to spend the afternoon with my friend Jess and her husband Roger, hi guys, and my friend Diane. And we had an absolutely wonderful time. We ate a great dinner at this Thai restaurant that we found that we loved. And it was just really fun to hang out and talk and get to see Jess. You know, I'm in touch with her frequently. I talk to her a lot, but I don't get to see her in person very often because she lives a few hours away from me. So this is really nice. I look forward to this time of year, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to see her at Mass Sheep and Wool because my other crush is that this weekend I'm going to be at a wedding. Knitting's my bag. Lois, her daughter, is getting married this weekend. So if you're following me on Twitter, you'll probably see some pictures from the wedding. My whole family's invited, my husband and I and my kids. They have picked out their outfits. I have a wedding outfit. I have to make sure my husband has something that's acceptable because I think he ruined his Brooks Brothers suit. My husband has a job where he doesn't ever have to wear a suit, so I need to make sure he has some kind of an outfit. But we're going to spend the weekend up in Maine this weekend, and I am really looking forward to that time with my family. And I'm looking forward to seeing Hillary, Lois's daughter, get married. I love her fiance. I met him last year, and he seems like a really wonderful person. They make a cute couple, and let's just face it, I love going to a wedding. Plus, I get to see the wedding shawl in live action, which will be exciting. So, yeah, that's my crush. My heartbreak of this week, my husband was loading a 10-foot long piece of lumber into my car, which is a CRV. He opened the hatchback, he shoved the lumber in, and then he shoved it harder, and he broke my windshield from the back end of the car. The end of the lumber went through and broke the front windshield and left a bullseye crack like this big. It's like the size of a dinner plate, right under my mirror. So fortunately, the good news is I can still drive the car with this crack because it's to the side. Like I have this part is clear. It's like right here in my vision. The bad news is that the auto glass repair place can't come out here until tomorrow to fix it. And they told me if it rains, I'm going to have to reschedule. And the reason that it was, I reported this on Sunday night, and I talked to the auto glass place on Monday morning. The reason why it's taking them so long is because we've had such unsettled rain, sun weather that they have a backlog of people waiting to have somebody come out and do it. If you don't have a garage that you can put your car in to do the work, and it rains, then they have to cancel the appointment. So everybody, keep your fingers crossed that it won't rain when the guy comes to do my car repair, because they ask you, do you think it's just a repair? And I said, no, I'm pretty sure I need a new windshield since there's a dinner plate sized, looks like a spider web. And every time I drive, the cracks get bigger and bigger, but it's like this big. It's huge. And then somebody on Instagram told me that one of the Nick girls' husband did the same thing to her car. So I guess my husband isn't the only idiot out there. But, it's always my car, too. So, yeah, I'm annoyed. I mean, I'm over it now. It happened on Sunday. I was annoyed when it happened. It's forcing me to miss my weekly play date with my niece, but I'm going to reschedule it for later in the week because they've given me a 5-hour window when they're going to come to my house. So I don't know what time they're going to be here, so I'm basically trapped in my house for 5 hours until they come. Hopefully they'll come right away. So we'll see. But it's no big. I have full comprehensive coverage so that I don't have to pay anything. And they're even going to put new windshield wipers on for me, which Sheila will tell you I desperately need because she was in my car. When did we go out together? The last time Sheila and I went somewhere together, Connecticut. She was like, how old is your car? What's wrong with your windshield wipers? Because apparently my windshield wipers are crappy. My car is the same age as her car, but my windshield wipers are really bad. She said, you're just like my husband. You need to fix your windshield wipers. So I'm getting that done, Sheila. Next time you ride in my car, it's going to be beautiful. Brand new windshield, brand new wipers. It's going to be like a new car. That's looking on the sunny side of things. My husband broke my windshield, but I'm going to have brand new everything. So that's my crutches and heartbreak. Baubles and bling. I did pick up a couple of things when I went to the Webb's tent sale. For those of you who haven't been to the Webb's tent sale, Webb's, the yarn store, is in Northampton. Webb's yarn store has a giant regular yarn store attached to a huge warehouse of discounted yarn and their brand name yarn, which is discounted. And the thing I love about Webb's is if you spend over a certain amount, you get a 20% discount. And if you spend over another amount, you get a 25% discount. I can't remember what the amounts are. It's on their website. But when I go to Webb's with my friends, as I did with Diane and Jess, we club in together, so we always get the 25% discount. And so we all, had a pretty good time. I bought some more Tosh DK for the sweater that I'm planning on knitting from Tin Can Knits. I can't remember the name now. I talked about it in episodes past. I had bought 5 skeins of Tosh DK, and then I started to obsess that I would run out. So I just picked up, they had 2 more skeins of that color in stock, and I just picked them up as a backup. I'll just feel more comfortable if I know I have extra yarn. It's just for the body and the sleeves because the yoke is in different colored yarns. But so I didn't bother to show those because it's exactly the same as the yarn that I bought on my girls' weekend in February. So if you want to see what it looks like, check out one of our episodes in February. I think it's called Blip Survivor Edition, and you will see the yarn that I bought. But the other thing that I picked up, just because I had to, is I got another skein of this Regia Flormania color. As you know, my Magic Mystic Spiral socks that I knit in less than a week were knit out of a different one of these colors. This one, the one that I did before was pink, yellow, orange, like hot pink, hot yellow, and orange. I don't think there was any green in it. I can't remember if there was green. I think there was maybe some green. This has purple in it and no yellow. Not much yellow. And no orange. So slightly different. It'll knit up. I guess they don't really put what it will knit up like on here, but I had to get another skein of it. I just wondered if those sock yarns, those socks were a fluke. So I might, maybe eventually when I get some other stuff off, I'll make another pair out of this and see if the magic can happen again. So that was that purchase. So I bought 2 skeins of Mantosh in this. And then the last thing that I did is there is a bead store next to Webb's. And because I knew I was going to knit Star Leaves again, because I enjoyed that pattern so much, I bought a bunch of beads. And what I wanted was to get them like kind of like a raven's wing. So they're dark blue-ish, but they have that sort of metallic shine. And they didn't have enough in one color. So I got a few different versions of the shiny beads. And I'm going to blend them all together in one big bowl and then package them back into the tubes, and then they'll be all blended and it'll make it. So there are some that are more muted and dark and then some that are way more rainbowy. But it's going to go with this yarn. And here's the rainbowy ones. I think it'll be really pretty to see the contrast of those bright colors against the navy blue yarn. We'll see. I think it's going to be pretty. I'm really excited for that. So I did buy these at the Webb's tent sale, sort of, next door at the bead store near Webb's. And then, of course, I stopped to see my friend Jess, so I had to pick up just a few more of her Notions pouches. Because I need more. I have a lot of project bags, and I tend to be a person who has a lot of projects going. And I'm thinking of setting up a few that are for crochet only, that have like different items in them, or that I can put my hooks in or something. So I bought them. I got robots, more gnomes, because I have a lot of gnome stuff. I love that print. And the gnome one has mushrooms inside, and the robot one has cogs inside. I love how she does that. And then I got just this really pretty floral print, and that has polka dots inside. And then I got chickens, and they have eggs inside. I love how she does that. So yeah, these are, I love these little Notions pouches. They work great for me. I think the one that I'm using right now in this one is another version of the gnomes, just the spots, and that has spots on the inside and the outside. So see, now I could put a gnome one with this, or I could use a coordinating one with this. Options. You know, I love matching options because I like it when my bag either matches my notions pouch or if it has the same theme. I could also use this one because gnomes go with gnomes. So that makes me happy. So thanks to Jessalu for making those, and I had a lot of fun because I got to help them break down the booth. And the best part of that is it's held together with zip ties, and I got to cut the zip ties with the giant pliers, and I don't know why, but I really enjoy that. So that's my baubles and bling for the weekend. Let's see. Gossip and innuendo. Had a slight interruption. My mom called, so I am restarting this section. In case you're wondering, there's probably going to be a continuity issue. I had a wonderful time at the Webb's tent sale, and for those of you who haven't been to one, the Webb's store with its regular store and warehouse are open for regular business, but they put a big pavilion tent out front, and they have lots of yarn, like bags of yarn that you can buy for a very deep discount. So it's the only place I've ever shopped for yarn using a shopping cart. I went there in 2007 with my mom, and I bought tons of sweaters worth of yarn at a very deep discount price. And I've been pretty much every year since, except maybe one. And in more recent years, I've gone just so that I can meet up with my friend Jess and hang out and see her, because it's a good opportunity to catch up with her. And so I had a great time this weekend. They have, aside from the whole Webb's thing going on, they also have a number of local artisans like Jess who are vending in booths all the way around the parking lot. And this year they had a cupcake truck and a food truck there, so you could get something to eat as well. It's a really nice little event. I found out this year that I could put my stuff to the side while I was shopping and come back later when the line was much shorter, because I was there for the whole day. I was with vendors. So that was a nice thing, because the line at one point was from all the way back in the warehouse to the front of the store. And if you've ever been there, that's a really long line. And there was another line for the purchases that were being made outside by the tent. But it's a lot of fun. It's a good event. If you've never been to Northampton, it's a nice little town. There's lots of little stores and shops that you can look in there, and a ton of great restaurants. We happened to find a really awesome Thai food restaurant for dinner, so it was a lot of fun. So that event, totally worth it. And if you look on the podcast, the blog show notes, I have been posting a list of upcoming events. Spring festival season is basically done. I know that Fiber Frolic in Maine is coming up either next weekend or the weekend after. I'm not 100% sure. I might go to that event. I might not. I'm kind of on the fence about it, because I'll just be honest with you. After going to fiber-related events for the last 5 weekends, I'm just tired of and I'm going away this weekend for a wedding. I'm tired. I'm tired of traveling. I'm sure my husband's tired of me being out of the house. And I've pretty much spent my budget for this time of the year for the spring festivals. So I don't know. On the one hand, I want to see people that I only get to see if I go up to Fiber Frolic. On the other hand, I don't want to spend any more money, and it's a long drive, and I am burned out on festivals, so I haven't decided. Mass Sheep and Wool is coming up this weekend, which I'm not going to. Sheila decided she didn't have time to go to it either. But if you're in the area, it's definitely worth checking out. There are a lot of really great vendors there. It's a small festival, but there are a lot of great vendors. And they usually do the dog shows with the herding sheep, dog herding, I don't know what they call that. And they have lots of animals there, and there's usually a big pavilion area where they have spinning wheels set up, and you can you can try out a spinning wheel or watch people spin or learn how to spin. It's kind of fun. I like going there. This is going to be the first year in a long time that I've missed it, but I would miss it for the wedding, so I'll go there next year. It's not like I need anything else. I really don't need another week of festival shopping to go on. So I think that's pretty much it for gossip and innuendo. Hopefully Sheila will be back together with me next week. I don't see why she wouldn't be. And we'll go forward from there. There is another festival that I know is coming up in August, Fiber Revival. I don't know if I have that in the list or not, but it's between June and October. It's pretty much dead for festivals. If you know of a local event and you want to have me add it to the list, and by local I mean New England, because that's primarily what I put up there unless I'm attending an event outside of New England. I'll put it on the list. I don't know all the events. I guess I feel pretty lucky, though, that I live in an area where there are a ton of events like this, and I hope it's been fun for you seeing, the kind of things that we got there and hear me tell about what it was like. And I've enjoyed, obviously, traveling to them, but I'm tired. All of my friends do this, too. We're all really tired. It's like tax season for accountants, festival season for people who love fiber. It's the same thing. So that won't wind up again until October, so I have some time to relax and get some knitting and spinning done. Pretty soon it's going to be Tour de Fleece. I think that comes in June, or July, July. So we'll have to have another thread for people to show their Tour de Fleece progress and projects when that happens, and hopefully we'll get some good spinning done. I think that's pretty much it. I did want to mention that a part of my stash organization this weekend, which took forever, was going to my project page and realizing that I had, in fact, not updated my project page since 2012. It is now completely updated back to whenever our show notes go. There's probably a few things still missing, but there are some things that I did not take a picture of, and I got everything that I could. I went through the show notes from a certain point in 2012 up to the present, and I made sure that I got everything. And I got as many pictures as I could, and I have put all my projects in. It took forever. My stash reorganization did not take that long, because I had a big pile of stuff on my bed that needed to be cataloged, and then I had to remove a bunch of stuff that I've either used or given away. But reorganizing my project page, I'm going to keep it updated now, and I just wanted to explain, I write show notes every week about my projects, so it feels like I updated my project page, and until Sheila brought it to my attention the other weekend, I really felt like I had been updating my project page, but I hadn't. So if you're interested in looking for something in my project page, now you might find it. And I will be doing a stash stir sometime this week, just to make sure there's no pests or anything. I didn't see any when I was putting stuff away, but there are always a few stray bumps of fiber that I find in the bags, the storage bags, that I somehow escaped me logging them in, so I always do a double check. Usually that happens on the same day. I do my stash organization, and as I'm putting it away, I do a spot check, and I check all the bags for anything that I don't have logged in. But in the middle of that process was when I realized that my project page was completely out of date. Also, my hand spinning page was completely out of date, and I needed to catch up with that before I put this stuff actually away. So I got sidetracked from the stash stir. But there you go. So hopefully I'm all up to date now. And that's pretty much it for this week. Thank you for watching. And I hope you all have a terrific week. And knit with heart. Bye.